Hello, this is Guangjun again from Tombalik, and today I'm gonna be bringing you guys through this very simple project, which is a skateboard rack. And this is one of the cool items that you can make for your own home when you purchase one of our home study kits, or if you just have a workbench at home to begin with. And this is a project that will take you maybe 1 or 2 days to complete, and would definitely be something that would help occupy your time and help you do some home improvement around. If you are a skater, or if you have anything else that would fit in something like this. Of course, this project is not really so much about a skateboard rack than it is about how to make something really simple at home, and you could adapt some of the ideas that you see in this skateboard rack into and many of your other wall mounting projects. In fact, you could actually make a floor standing version of this if you're interested. And as you can see, right, it's in the video, it might show up that this is not actually finished. It's not sanded yet. It's just joined together, and I have not actually done any sanding. However, I have beveled off all the edges with a chisel, and the reason for that is because I am short of time and I don't actually have enough time to film the entire series before I sand it. After I sand it, I mean. Okay, so this will have to do for now. I might make a video where I actually sand it and present it properly, but at the moment this is more like a how-to video. I'm sure you guys can figure out how to sand everything down on your own if you were interested in getting it to look a bit better. Okay, so the structure of this is quite simple. It's just 2 blocks of wood with the slots cut in, and then right here you can see the sliding dovetail joints. These are a little feature that I added to this project just to keep things a bit more exciting, and this will be a great first project if you're interested in learning how to build something that's structurally strong. This thing has no glue on it at all, so it's actually so tight that you can't actually pull it apart, right? And this will be extremely robust. It's going to hold on to itself for forever, if you just leave it on the wall. And the sliding dovetail is a great joint for that. However, there are some portions of the build that I did not document properly, as this is more of a one-take project. I didn't rehearse that much for this video. So one key thing that I missed out was the fact that these 4 joints are actually rather difficult to fit if you try and fit all of them at the same time. Okay, because the sliding dovetail is a joint that's actually very restricting on angles, so there isn't any play at all when you fit it, so it's not going to be able to bend at all, which is a positive for the structure of it, but it's a negative when it comes to beginners trying to align them. So make sure when you draw these 4 joints, you draw it properly and you make it very accurate. If not, it's going to be very hard to put them in together parallel like this. Okay, and the way to do that I also did not film. So the way that you will put 4 joints, they're really easy to put in one at a time, right? But to put all 4 in is a bit difficult. The way you will do that is you'll put each joint halfway in, right? And with it kind of apart, right, you're gonna just slowly mallet all 4 sides until the 4 joints close together. If you put 2 of them in and they are dead tight, the other 2 sides will not go in at all unless it is perfectly in line. Okay, so that's one thing to take note of for this project. Other than that, it's really simple. It is exactly what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to cover all the details of how to cut this, including possibly some tips on how to make this bigger. This is actually a 2 board version. We can make this a 3 board, 4 board, 5 board version. You can make it as long as you want actually. Okay, so let's get right to it. Okay, so first step is marking out the slots for the skateboard. The spacing is honestly up to you. I've kind of calculated that about 150 mm between the 2 points would be a good option. So between each board will be 150 mm. And in this case, I'm making a reduced size version. I'm making a double longboard version. And if you wanted to make something with 4 or 5, you can just add the measurements together. But here it is. So you're gonna put the first slot here, up here, and then the second one comes up right there. The third line, and then the fourth. we're gonna be limited in our cross cut due to the size of the saw, so we can actually only cut up to about 75 mm. So we're gonna limit that to right over there, which corresponds in distance to 40 mm right across. So I'm gonna make a little mark. If you're doing this at home, you really should be using pencil. I'm only using marker for the purpose of the video. So if you use a marker like this, it's going to be very difficult for you to remove the marks, or if you make a mistake, or at the end of the process where you want to erase some of the lines. So just take note of that. Okay. So some of the key things to take note is that for this project, we will be installing a sliding dovetail at the back and at the top and bottom of it. So you do need to keep some amount of material in the back area here for the joinery. So do not get your slot cut too far in, or just get a wider piece of wood if you need a deeper slot. But keep some material over here and at the back for the joinery portion. And we're also going to be doing a bit of some fun stuff in the front here for the helmets, so take note of that when you are planning this out. Okay, the next step is to extend the line on the front. So make sure that the square is placed right against the mark here, and you just put a line across right like that, and right like that. Okay. Okay, gonna cut it now, and I'm just gonna show you the initial steps here. So because this is a 45 degrees cut, it's going to be a bit tricky. You want to tilt your saw just slightly more perpendicular to the surface, just a bit more towards the perpendicular. And you're going to start at the heel of the saw and just pull right back there. And because this is a push saw, the cuts will be, the teeth are actually facing forward. So you're going to have a lot of easier time cutting by pulling backwards like that, to get the initial cut to engage. And then once the first slot has engaged, then you can begin to do your cuts, traveling back and forth. So one of the key things about sawing that I always try and remind the students is the long strokes. You want to be using the entire length of the cut instead of just using a little short portion. So this is wrong, and this is correct. Okay, if you do it like this with the long strokes, you find that the saw does a lot more of the work rather than the hands. From this angle, you should be able to see my hand movement better. Okay, so okay, my cut is actually drifting very slightly outwards, so I'm gonna try and correct that slightly. But at the same time, you should take note that with a back saw, you can't really change the angle once everything's engaged. So don't fight it too much, just let it carry on its own. Okay. Alright, so we've got both of them cut now, as you can see. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how to remove the little bit in the middle there. Okay, so now I'm going to help to start removing some of the material here. Okay, I'm going to do a cut right down here, and that's going to release this triangle, and then we're going to chop out the rest of it with a chisel. And I'm going to finish the rest of the cuts up. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to do this with hopefully less noise. We're gonna remove a bit of the wood here, kind of like we did here. Okay, and because I'm living in an apartment, it's gonna be a bit noisy. So we want to reduce the amount of noise and also the frequency of the strike. So you need to make sure that each cut is calculated to remove the maximum amount of material. We're going to be using the flat side here and the bevel side of the chisel over there, as you can see. And you're going to hit with a dead strike, meaning you're going to hold the hammer on the chisel after you're done, okay? And now what we're gonna do is to just knife wall this area. You're just gonna cut out a nice line across like that, and that is what's gonna release the material easily. The last trim area here. Okay, gonna come back in here and ta-da! Okay, so roughly maybe about 10 strokes of the chisel, and we managed to remove quite a large chunk of material there. So now that the material has been removed on one side, we're gonna turn it around and chop right down from. We're gonna turn it around and chop from the other direction, and that will release this big chunk of material here. So we're gonna change the order this time. We're gonna go straight for the knife wall first, just to establish where the cut will be. Before we begin chopping the excess. So this time around I'm going to change my tactic. I'm going to put bevel forward here. We're going to put a flat side on the back so that our cut will go straight down the thing to the bottom, to the face of the bench. Okay, just watch this. Okay, you can see now it's a straight cut. Okay. Okay, almost done. Alright. Okay, and that's a clean slot there. I'm gonna finish up the last one and then I'll be done. At this point you can start to do some of the bevel work on the slots. So you grab your 15mm chisel and you want to just pare off the excess, the corners as such. Okay. Bear in mind that there is always a optimum direction to pair, so if one direction doesn't work out for you, then just try the other one. You want to follow the direction of the grain so that you get a nice pair drop. Okay, remember to keep your fingers behind your chisel. You don't want it to be anywhere in front, so if you slip you won't cut yourself. So I prefer to keep my 15mm chisel for pairing work because it is a bit longer, a bit wider, and it allows you to do a bit more of a slice. And in the process of pairing, you can also remove the marker lines, which shouldn't even be there because you should be using pencil, but you could use that to just clean up the edge. Of course, this has a bit more of a rustic kind of feel to it. If you want to do this properly, you can either go really slowly with the chisel or you can try sanding. That will work also.